Hello, everybody, and welcome to Cardinal Sports Live. I'm Derek Palaki.
And I'm Spencer Conlon.
That's right. He's back off his short hiatus, so Kuka, bear with us as we bring you all the sports action tonight on Cardinal Sports Live. Welcome back into Sports Wrap Live. Spencer Conlon, Derek Palaki, welcome back.
Thank you very much. I would like to thank Colleen Brandt for stepping in. It was good to see her back in the chair.
It was interesting.
Yeah, it was.
It was really interesting.
But I'm glad to be back.
Yes.
And last two shows.
Two shows for both of us. You're graduating, I'm graduating. I didn't know that. I mean...
Good to show how well we know each other, but...
Yeah, we're getting there. It's interesting, but we've got to go into some lacrosse action now. The lacrosse team hoped to at least match their 2013 season yesterday with a win in the SUNYAC semifinals. Last year, they took down the Brockport Golden Eagles. This year, they were given the task of taking on the Potsdam Bears. For the first two periods, the teams were evenly matched in the game and on the scoreboard, knotted in a 4-4 tie. It wasn't until the second half when the Cardinals showed off their high-powered offense, scoring 4 in the third period on the backs of Brendan Dam, who scored twice, Tim Lawrence, and Jack Felter. The Bears did score 2 in the period to make it an 8-6 game. Credit the Cardinals' defense in the fourth for not allowing the Bears to get a shot on goal. They would add 3 more in the period for good measure and take the 11-6 win and punch their ticket into the SUNYAC finals against Cortland.
How about that? The lacrosse team
They're
performing very well, and they're going to face the same team they did in the finals last year.
They're taking on Cortland again. It's going to be a great game. You look at last year's finals, hop in the Wayback Machine there. They lost 9-2. Now Cortland obviously was the better team, and going into this one, they are the better team again. It's weird when you look at the stats, though. Very
similar stats.
Yes.
And like I said, very similar back-to-back. So it's going to be a crazy game. They're going to duke it out, I think.
It's going to be an interesting match because we got the 2013, the 2014 stats here, and Plattsburgh is just about the same. But what's weird is goals per game. Cortland 1, Plattsburgh 2. Points per game. Cortland 1, Plattsburgh 2. You getting the trend here? Assists per game. Cortland 1, Plattsburgh 3. But Plattsburgh in many levels has done better. Because you look at it, they have more points per game than last year on average. Their assists are over an assist more per game, I believe an assist and a half per game, higher than they were last year. They're ready to come out. They're ready to deke it out. And I think they may take this one.
And they outshot them last year at the game, and I think that's something they're going to have to do again because Cortland's save percentage this year, best in the SUNYAC, 61%. So they're going to have to go at that goal pretty hard. And Plattsburgh, one thing they're doing better this year is their assists. So they're working the ball around a little bit more and getting it down.
That's right. They had more shots on goal. If you look at the stats again from last year, they outshot them 37-32. The problem therein, though, is when you go shots on goal by period. Plattsburgh had 16 shots on goal to 37. That's negative 21 that didn't even make it on net.
Yeah. And we take a look here. Lacrosse, named SUNYAC Player of the Week, 13 points. 2-0 this week in final 2 games. So.
Yep, that's great to see that. I don't think his name is Lacrosse.
His name wasn't there, so I apologize for that, but great job.
It's probably either Brendan Dam or Robbie Ashlaw. In the break, we'll get the name and
that's for sure.
Give him a little bit of credit there. It's great to see, and I mean, this lacrosse team all year, I mean, it's like a mirror image. They were 14-4 last year, 5-1 in the conference. This year, they're 13-5, 4-2 in the conference. So they lost 1 game there, but they're back in the big dance, and they're going to want this one.
And that's the most important thing. You say mirror. I mean, they're almost identical. So it's such a good opportunity for this team to have a second whack at it, especially for those seniors who were here last year, and hopefully get the win this year in their senior year.
Got a great team. Brendan Dam, who's leading the SUNYAC in scoring by like double. I believe last show he had like 46 goals. I'm sure he's got that up to near 50. And then the next closest person was like high 20s, low 30s. So you got to believe that guy, Robbie Ashlaw, Tim Lawrence, who scored his 100th goal in the game, 100th goal of his career, I should say, in the game previous. This team wants it.
Yeah, and they, you just list all those names. That's a lot of weapons. So they definitely have the players there. They just got to get it all flowing in one game, which they have been doing, and hopefully they can do that against Cortland this weekend.
Exactly, and they lost 9-2. I mean, it was a close game. It was 1-1 after 1. It was 3-1 Cortland after 2. It was that third period, 5 goals for Cortland, none for Plattsburgh. The fourth was even 2 at 1-1. They were one third period from making that a game. They lost by 7, but they were right in it for the first 2, held with them in the fourth. It was just that 5-goal third period.
Yeah, they got to keep it up, and they do it throughout the first 3, but they got to keep going. And if they do so, they have a good shot of doing it. So they just got to keep up and match the other team's shot on goals.
I think they got a phenomenal shot at it. This team, a little worse in the record books. They're winners of 4 straight coming in. Mm-hmm. They won 9-7 against Clarkson, 22-4 against Oneonta, 18-11, then 11-6 the other day. This team is ready to go.
Lots of wins. They haven't seen a loss since the beginning of April. So
exactly. April 15th against Rensselaer Polytechnical Institute, near our closer our neck of the woods.
That's right.
That's right. When we come back, though, we've got to talk about baseball. They've been playing softball as well. Stick around, Cardinal Sports Live. We'll be right back with a whole lot more.
Watch Sports Wrap live on PSTV.
We are the face of PSTV. Normal, everyday students. Coming together, sharing together, working together, succeeding together. PSTV. We are stronger together.
I am PSTV.
I am PSTV.
I
am PSTV.
Hey Breezy, did you hear about the new PSTV? Hashtag new, hashtag relaunch, hashtag PSTV with attitude.
These are some of my favorite shows. Hashtag Weekly Birdie, hashtag CSL, hashtag Roommate Game.
Oh yeah, there's all those shows. And didn't you hear the Roommate Game? It has a new name. Hashtag Cardinal Showdown.
No way. Hashtag so cool, hashtag can't wait.
I know, me too. I wonder if Marcus has heard.
I should text Ramon.
Hashtag new PSTV.
What's the hashtag?
Hashtag new logo. No!
We'd like to just give credit to Tim Lawrence, who was a player this week in the SUNYAC division. Sorry about that, Tim. Ever hear better late than never? The men's baseball team certainly has when they squared off against Oswego Lakers last weekend. Senior pitcher Joe Letty only lasted 3 innings, in which he gave up 6 hits and 6 runs, giving the Lakers an early 6-0 lead at the end of 3. Finally, in the 7th inning, the Cards began working the bat with Nick Lupo's single and Chris Bischetti's double. Yuya Asawa and Jeremy Rodriguez would eventually bring those runners in. The game quickly became a back-and-forth type game, which 7 different Cards registered at least 1 RBI. After 10 innings of play, the Cards would get the victory, 12-11.
And after that 10-inning marathon, the Cardinals and Lakers took the field again in Game 2 of the doubleheader. This is another game that wouldn't disappoint the fans. Unlike the first game, this one would be a pitcher's duel between J.D. Jenkins for the Cardinals and Tim Cronin of the Lakers. The game remained scoreless on both sides until the bottom of the 9th, when Kyle Liner, aptly named, of the Lakers, singled to right, scoring Dan Sicoccio as the eventual game-winning run. As the game-winning run, it was in the bottom. Jenkins pitched 8 1/3 of 3 hit ball. Cronin went the complete 9 innings, pitching 6 hit ball.
And extra innings is something that the Cards have become accustomed to as they entered extra innings in the 3rd game of the weekend against the Lakers. Once again, the Cards struggled early, only getting 5 hits throughout 5 innings of play. Once the Lakers bullpen took over, the Cards were down 2-0 in the 5th when they finally tacked on their first run, with Yuya Asawa crossing the plate from 3rd. Later in the 7th, Oswego increased their lead to 5-2 before the Cards went to work at bat. Some familiar names here. Nick Lupo and Chris Bischetti trimmed the lead to 5-3 in the 9th. The game would need extra innings, where Mike Vargas would eventually get the game-winning RBI. In the 10th, Yuya Asawa got his first win of the season as the Cards roll in this one 9-6.
Good job to see the baseball team finally getting some runs. And pitching well, I should say.
Very good.
The extra inning game and whatnot, really definitely great.
That's right. And it's good to see. And Yuya Asawa getting his first win from Tokyo.
Yep, good to see. But we've got to go to our senior spotlight now. Let's take a look at that.
Thank you, Spencer and Derek. I'm here with senior baseball player Joe Letty. How's it going, Joe?
Good.
Now, you transferred to Plattsburgh. Last season was your first season. What was the deciding factor in your decision to come here?
Baseball was a big factor, but we also have a very good history program here, and it's my major, so it made it a really easy decision.
Now, what would you say has changed for you from your first season to this season?
I've got more of an opportunity and confidence. I've got a lot more this year than last year. Coming in, had to prove something. This year, I knew how good I could be, and just keep going.
You've pitched 4 complete games so far this season. What has allowed you to be able to go so deep into games?
I don't know. It's just mind over matter, I guess. Like, I block the pain out if I have any, and I just keep my pitch count down, and that allows me to keep going.
Okay, so the team traveled down to Florida, Fort Myers, for your spring break trip this year. What was that like?
Oh, it was a good experience. We played a lot of games and good weather, so better than up here.
Yeah, speaking of the weather, it's tough. You've only played a few home games so far. What are some of the issues with the location of Plattsburgh and how that weather doesn't allow you to have too many home games?
We had scheduling conflicts a lot. Cortland, we had to play at another school. Oneonta, we had to play at another school. The North Country is very up north, obviously, and you get a lot of snow and wind and rain. It's not really good for baseball.
Now, what's it like for you when you finally do get to play at home, going out on that mound and pitching in front of some of the home fans at Chip Cummings Field?
It's good. I like to see all our fans that come out and support us, and support means a lot. So it was very, very good.
Now, one of your former teammates last year, Brian Burns, is now a pitching coach. So what's the difference in having him as a teammate and now as a coach?
Last year, he was obviously a player, and it was different because I got to interact with him. I hung out with him a lot, being older than more of the guys in my grade. And this year, I've seen him mature more, and he's becoming more of a coach instead of the thinking player. And it's kind of good to see how he made the transition, and he made it very well.
Now, would you say you'd prefer him as a teammate or as a coach?
Probably as a coach.
Yeah. All right. Now, what would you say is your most memorable moment on the field here?
Probably down in Florida, I threw a 2-hitter, and that was my first complete game in college, so that was pretty big. I would have to go with that.
Yeah. Now, what about off the field?
Off the field, not too much happens around here, so.
All right. We'll keep the memories on the field. What will you carry on with you that your coaches have taught you here?
Stay positive and work hard. I've brought kind of that, but they've brought it out a lot more in me this year, and since I've been here.
And finally, what's next for you?
Hopefully become a teacher in history and move on.
Great. Well, good luck with that.
Thank you.
Back to the studio, guys.
Thanks, Colin. Tremendous work. As always, we've got to take a short break. When we come back, we're going to be talking softball on CSL. Stick around.
This is boring generic television. The type of stuff you don't want to watch. from my guy. PSTV is what you want to watch. You know why? Because it's awesome. Look at this thing. It's huge.
Welcome back to Cardinal Sports Live. We're talking about softball now. You know, they played Geneseo in the over the weekend, and they seem to have a little bit of trouble there. I mean, they won one, they lost one. It seems like that's the way the softball team has done all year long. I mean, they lost the first one by a score of 7-2. It was a tough game in general. I mean, but they were able to get the second one, winning 5-4. The doubleheader in game one, what happened? It was ridiculous.
It was a little ridiculous. It was last weekend.
Yep.
Hosted by Brockport.
Yep.
And they struggled a little bit there. Yep. Twice, actually.
Yep. Brockport, they got swept. Geneseo, they won one of two. We're having interesting. But the softball team's been like that the whole time.
Yeah, struggling. And but anyway, it was a doubleheader, as we said, which meant the Lady Cards had a second shot against Brockport, and unfortunately they struggled again.
Yep.
Brockport got things started in the first with Rosenbarker's RBI single to left. They added one more in the inning when Kelly Proper nailed one into center, bringing another Brockport runner across the plate. Later on, the Cards threatened Brockport's 2-point lead in the third inning when they had runners on second and third. However, Brockport starter Kobe Kilbing managed to strand the runners, striking out the Lady Card Brianna Clark. The Golden Eagles added on 6 more runs, including a solo homer in the 7th inning to cap things off, to cap the shutout 8-0. A couple days later, the Lady Cards had another set of crucial SUNYAC games against the Geneseo Knights.
Not much crucial. I mean, the last 2 games got canceled. They lost 3 out of their last 4. Tough as it goes for softball, but we've got to get into our Coach's Corner now. Let's take a look at that one.
Welcome to Coach's Corner. I'm here with head softball coach Stephanie Conroy. How's it going?
Very good.
So you graduated from Plattsburgh in 2008, and you became the head coach in 2011. What does it mean to you to be able to coach at your former school?
It's a big honor, and I think that there's a lot of things that I wanted to continue with this program and our traditions, and that's a big reason why I accepted the job and wanted to continue what I started here as a player and want to really help the student athletes here get the same experience that I had.
Mm-hmm. Now, it's been a tough spring when it comes to the weather, and it's always like that in Plattsburgh, it seems. How do you keep the players motivated and keep the season going if you don't have a lot of home games?
Well, there is every winter to spring is tough, but this one was particularly tough. But it's really important for the players to just remember that no matter where they play and no matter who they're playing, they need to bring the same attitude and effort to the game. So it's a good way to practice that because it really did test us, and I think it really helps us appreciate playing on our home field and having a home field advantage.
Mm-hmm. Now, you hold many records for the Cardinals as a player. Mm-hmm. What is your reaction when one of your players now, when you're coaching them, breaks one of those records, or if they do break one of those records, how would you react?
At first, it's disheartening, but you always want your players to do better than you have done, especially for a program that you've played for. So I feel like there's no better feeling in the world than coaching somebody to be better than you.
Speaking of some stuff off the field, you have worked as a motivational speaker and helped run some clinics before. So what's that experience been like for you?
It feels good to be able to give back and to be able to help kids get to a place where they're comfortable with who they are, and that's why you do that. You don't do it for being well known or getting the accolades. You really do it to help others.
Now, lastly, what do the Cardinal fans have to look forward to next season?
I think that we have a lot of young talent, and this year was about getting a lot of experience, and with experience we're going to have to go through some rough times, but I really feel like you go through a lot of frustration to get to breakthroughs, and I think that we have a lot of talent coming in, and we have a lot of talent that will be returning from this year. And I'm just looking forward to what we learned from this season and being able to change that for next season. And I think that there's a lot of good things, and we're already a family, so that's really the hardest part. Now it's about just mentally going into next season, willing to work for every single win we get.
All right, well, thanks for joining us,
Thank
and
you.
good luck next season.
Thank you.
Back to you, Spencer and Derek.
Thanks, Colin. Great work as always. We've got to take a short break. When we come back, we've got a very special baseball story to tell you. Stick around for CSL.
6:45, PSTV's on at 7. Oh snap! My TV's broke. Hello? My TV's broke. I need help. Calm down, sir. I can't even watch PSTV. It's on at 7. Have you tried plugging it in yet?
Guys, we need to come up with an idea for this project.
She's absolutely right. How about
all of the top-notch quality programming available on PSTV?
We can't do that. This isn't a promo.
Yo tengo una idea. Ya te saben, Facebook, PSTV.com, entra ya. ¡Ah! Fuimos. Ya, terminé.
You know, I think he's onto something.
Welcome back into CSL. Spencer Carlin, Derek Palaki here with you.
It's been a wild ride.
Yeah. That's something. Special story to bring your way. The Brian Me and Be the Match is back.
Yep.
He was there last year. They do it every year.
It's a great cause, and it's in honor of former Plattsburgh baseball player and Plattsburgh native Brian Meehan. So it's great to see that and the team come together and get that done.
This is one of the biggest things. This is one of the things they're mostly proud of. I mean, they've had a rough go of it this year, this season, but this is something that they hang their hats on.
Yeah, and I
every
think
year.
it's something, their season they can put behind them for a little while and enjoy this event and honor their old player.
They host SUNY Canton every year. Unfortunately, it had to get delayed. That game will now be on the 2nd.
Correct.
Yep. So hopefully they can get a win for Brian and hopefully get a match.
Absolutely. And it's
anything like that is
like I said,
important.
it's such a widespread issue, and it's great to see our campus get involved and the team themselves. So
but let's take a look. Zach Welsh had an interview to talk about the Be the Match.
Thanks, guys. I'm here with Zach Welch, the assistant coach of the baseball team. How's it going, Zach?
Pretty good, and yourself?
Good, thanks. So the annual Brian Meehan game, unfortunately, has to be rescheduled, but it will get played. Do you want to talk about what this game means to the team and to you?
It's actually pretty important to us. It's for a good cause. Brian Meehan was a great teammate, and he's from the city of Plattsburgh, so it's important to the community as well. We just do the game to try to help a great cause and find people that can help save lives with the Be the Match program.
Now, with the Be the Match program, you held an annual swabbing drive earlier this week. How'd that turn out?
We actually had about 80 students come out and help support the cause. Speaking with Mike, the gentleman that runs it, and Coach Dory, last year they had 155, so we were down some numbers. But on the average, Mike said he usually gets about 25 people per drive. So the students of SUNY Plattsburgh are really helping out and supporting a great cause.
And I've seen that there was a match, actually, I think for the second straight year.
Yes, second straight year. Gentleman matched again and helped save a life. So it shows us that we're doing something very good.
Now the team's paired up with the local Special Olympians, and they're taking the field out for the ceremony and the first pitch and all that. What does that mean to you that they're on board with this?
We just like to get the community involved. It's always great to help people. Special Olympians, they just want to be a part of it, and we like helping them out. We like having them be a part of it as well.
Now Sean Conklin will throw out the first pitch. He donated a blood stem cell that could potentially help save a woman's life. How special is that moment for him and for the team?
It's actually great. We put a lot of work in. It means a lot to us. We try to do everything as far as community service for the Brian Me and Be the Match Foundation. And it's great to show that we are helping save lives. It's one at a time, but it's something that means a lot to us.
Now, in your playing days, you had the opportunity to play with Brian Meehan. What are some of the things that you remember most about him?
His smile. He's always happy to be part of the baseball team. He's a great teammate, and you saw a player he's actually looking forward to coming back when he found out he was sick again. So it was kind of tough. He was healthy, thought he had beat it and everything. I actually had the opportunity to play with Brian before college as well. I played some Legion ball with Brian. Funny story, we're playing Legion ball, and he was playing first base, and I was catching. I threw a ball to him, and he went to catch the ball, and he actually dislocated his elbow catching the ball. Serious injury like that, Brian never shed a tear. Let's go to the doctors. Strong player, strong person. He would have never showed any fear throughout the whole process. It's an honor to have known him and be a friend.
Now, SUNY Canton is the team that you play in the annual game every year. What kind of, do you have some more respect for them, that they get involved with this?
Yes, it's great to see other schools that jump on board with us. SUNY Canton's willing to play us every year as part of the game. They come out and help get swabbed as well. It's nice to see other people, and it's not just the students of SUNY Plattsburgh. There's other schools that want to help and jump on board with our great cause.
Great. Swabbing and raffle tickets will be sold at the game, and all the proceeds from the raffle tickets will be donated to the Match Foundation and the Brian P. Meehan Memorial Scholarship that given to a Plattsburgh High School student every year. So everybody be sure to get to the game. Thanks for joining us.
Thank you.
Back to you guys in the studio.
Colin Bentley with a trifecta of interviews today.
Crazy. He's
doing
a great
phenomenal.
job. He deserves it, though.
This kid, I tell you, he's a dynamo. He gets up in the morning.
Goes out and gets those interviews.
Goes out and gets those interviews.
All those players, and we think players and coaches, too.
Players, players, coaches, everybody.
Absolutely.
Doesn't matter who it is. Colin Bentley can do it. Well, partner.
We're winding down here.
The clock's working.
The clock is working.
It's ticking.
Wrong
finally.
time,
Yeah.
if you can tell.
Broken watches right 2 times a day.
Maybe.
Maybe.
You're right. How can I argue with Derek Palaki?
Hey now. Calm down, sir.
But I just wanted to say one more thing. That is a great event. I said it several times before, but I'm going to say it again. Great job by the baseball team, and I hope it has a good turnout this
So
weekend.
on the 2nd, go out, be the match, please.
Absolutely.
The life you save could be somebody else's or your own. You never know.
Eventually.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Great day.
Great day.
Yeah. Taking on Canton on the 2nd. It's going to be phenomenal.
And the lacrosse team.
Good luck.
Good luck to them. They're going to do well against Cortland, and they're going to get the win.
That's all the time we got. Spencer Cardinal, Derek Palaki. We'll see you next week for the final time.